Hey people, interested 3v3 faction war. This is Lictor Jungle Gate and Tyranids versus Orks. For the blue Tyranid team, the Tenso is a Lictor Alpha. A melee specialist can infiltrate and disrupt some powerful offense and a bit of support alongside. UncensoredAngel is a Hive Tyrant, a durable hero walking through objects that cannot be suppressed with powerful support and disruption, fighting in melee with a basic synapse by default. I shall call you Alfonso. Rounding off the blue team, Gatts with a Ravener Alpha. A tunneling hero, great mobility, powerful offense, and a bit of support begins with a ranged weapon. Red Orks, Wolfguard is a Kommando knob, infiltrating hero that shoots you, stabs you, and blows you up. Orky style begins in ranged combat with a twin link shooter sneaking around here. And there's some Daka alongside. Sapiens is a Mekboy, teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat, puts out some good damage with a bunch of versatile Orky gadgets. And rounding off the teams, Space Tendies is a Warboss, a melee hero walking through objects, very strong offense, disruption and support from the front lines. The Blood Axes scheme, I think, with those caps. So Lictor Jungle Gate, note that it has these heavy crush walls here, which means the Warboss and the Hive Tyrant can't walk through these walls. You need a Carnifex or a Dreadnought or something, or Terminators to do that. A tank should be able to get through them as well. Sluggers wiping. Sapiens has no units now. Okay. They didn't have any shooters up, did they? I don't think they had any shooters up. They must have been going straight into Stormboys or straight into Looters. I wonder what they'll do now. Some shooters. Oh, that's the Kommando, I think, in the garrison over there. Former Gaunts with adrenal glands up very early, being persuaded to leave. Sapiens, are you building power, buddy? Just Space Tendies building power. Okay. Here comes Alfonso, the Hive Tyrant, already with extended carapace on the way. Not improved synapse with triple Tyranids, eh? Kommando gets out. Mekboy teleports and then runs away. And the Tyranids will take the east side. West side is very Tyranid blue as well. Got some termagants with toxin sacks, although these guys don't have it. Warrior Brood on the way for the Tenso. Looters for Wolfguard. Looters for Sapiens, and not trying to replace the Sluggers or get shooters up then. These are Wolfguard's gens. Sapiens really should have built some gens. Maybe they thought this wasn't safe over here yet. 2-to-1 cap for the Tyranids very early on. VP's evened up. Decapping the wreck point, bashing some power on the east side, and Lictor Alpha on the central VP there. Ravenous back to the east side. Got a fair chunk of XP actually. Hive Tyrant got a little bit, does have the extended carapace in now, giving him the charge. What's scarier than a 9-foot alien that wants to eat you? A charging 9-foot alien that wants to eat you. Warrior Brood up now for UncensoredAngel. I think they mentioned in the chat that they don't play Tyranids very often, so we'll see how it goes for Uncensored. More termagants on the way apparently, is what they're going for. Sapiens, what are you up to, buddy? Are you going to get double looters? They might just go double looters for the Daka. Oh, Ravener Alpha goes down. Okay. Completely missed that. Triple cap for the Tyranids. But the Orks are pushing back. Warrior Brood with a barbed strangler though for the Tenso. These guys will provide a basic synapse, which is handy because the Lictor Alpha doesn't. Smack, smack, smack. Can they get a model? Unlucky not to get one there, but now they can turn their attention to these Tyranid power generators. Maybe? Nope, not super interested in melee, and then maybe want to cap these points is why. East side, got some sneaky looters on the eastern edge. Sluggers with burners for Wolfguard also. And it is indeed double looters for Sapiens. In the mid right now, bashing the power, trying to take it. 2-to-1 for the Orks. And these guys have split up the cap. Stomp from the Warboss. Gaunt still getting in on the shooter boys though. These guys with the Knob Leader. 2 hit points. 1 hit point and down they go. 472 to 410. Warboss might also go down on retreat because those Gaunts are there. Trying to line themselves up for the best chance to get the kill, and they do get it. Down goes the Warboss. Ravener Alpha still down on the east side, of course. Stick bombs for the Kommando. even more things blow up. Hormagaunts get away. Only lost one model. Bashed the node over here apparently. 456 to 410. Back to the mid. Looters doing their thing and suppressing a blob of triple termagants, and the Hive Tyrant falls down. Oh no, Alfonso. Lictor Alpha could get a bunch of XP reviving those fellas. Reviving the Hive Tyrant at least. Might not be able to get to the Ravener Alpha very easily. Still got looters on the eastern side. Where is Sapiens' other looters? Oh, they're here. Anything for the mech? Mech has electric armor. Are they going to get a full bash here? Maybe. Going to take a while for these guys to reach, but they do have a Ravener Brood now to jump, or rather burrow the looters and knock them scatty. Level 2 Kommando. Got some good kills already then, I guess. Hive Tyrant still down in the mid. Mekboy might go in and tie those fellas up in melee. West side, meanwhile, they're Tenso getting a power bash. The Lictor Alpha themselves barely gets out. Can the Warboss smack him? The Warboss does smack him down and gets to level 2. And then flees from the Hormagaunts, who run into huge amounts of Daka. Barb Strangler. Oh, seemed to like misfire there. Now shoots at the gens. Here comes a Mekboy to try and help out. Trying to tie up the termagants. Is he? Oh no. Wants to electric armor them, of course. With electric shock. But they dealt with them pretty well. East side now turning blue for the Tyranids. And they're on power. On my way to res, says the Tenso. Can't see myself, says Space Tendies. It is quite a fog-heavy map. If I zoom out here, you can see it. But should be able to see yourself when you're at regular gameplay camera levels. Space Tendies doesn't know how long to stay in fights. Maybe they are new to the Orks as well. I guess that evens up the teams a bit in terms of newness to their factions. Something you learn over time, how to judge the fights. Get a feel for how the units perform and how quickly they can do their thing and that kind of stuff. A Wolfguard got double looters as well. Sapiens into tier 2. The Tenso just hit tier 2. And he could get a quick zone throw or Tyrant Guard up here. Speaking of Lictor Alpha, deadly jump on the way. Genes to the brood for tier 2. They have revived the Hive Tyrant. Quick flesh hook there. Looks like they're not reviving the Ravener Alpha though. They're going in for some killing. Sluggers barely getting away. Lictor Alpha jumping through. There's that deadly jump. Does it not do damage anymore? I guess not. I thought it did damage. Didn't seem to damage the looters, and it doesn't seem to mention it here either. Just knockback. Maybe it did at some point. Well played, but Tenso can now get the revive after forcing off some stuff on the east side, single-handedly almost. Warboss is level 2, as we saw. Lost the indicator for them. There's tier 2 for Space Tendies. Genes to the brood, skulking around menacingly. Melee superiority unit. Bad news for the shooters. Yeah, they're just going to run. And Space Tendies doesn't have sluggers anymore. They seem to be constantly bashing this power. The Sapiens smacking it in melee for some reason. Maybe they were just still on melee stance from this kind of thing. There's the electric shock. They didn't have much energy to maintain it. 399 to 323. Lictor Alpha goes down. Oh, ran into double looters of Wolfguard there. Speaking of looters, Sapiens are retreating. And they got a Weird Boy. That should do a lot of work, the Weird Boy. They should probably get one more, at least, the red team. Power bash from the Tenso. Capillary Tower goes up thanks to the Infestation Global. Space Tendies getting a Weird Boy, that will help greatly, especially if they can hit it on the Gene Stealers and get them off the field quickly. Here is Sapiens' Weird Boy to help out the west side. 2-1 for the Tyranids. 100 VP lead. Spawn mines spawned from the tower. They do get a detonation on those Orks there. Warboss in the back lines. There's the crippling poison though. And they have another one to use, I think. And yet more termagants show up. Those triple termagants really do pack a punch. And if you got 5 of them, it's quite nasty. Here's the Hive Tyrant, Alfonso with rending talons now. Kicking off on the east side, is it? It is. Looters doing their thing. Lots of damage if you get close. Sluggers having to retreat. Ravener Alpha having to retreat. Barb Strangler gets a shot. But Warrior Brood very low. Lucky not to be dropping a model there, actually. These guys need to run. Yeah. Termagants might be able to get that cap if they're careful. West side. Alfonso, the Hive Tyrant, falls again. Uncensored Angel. Not experienced at judging that guy's durability, I suppose. It does take getting some used to. Can you guys get a shot? You can. Didn't suppress the Weird Boy, though. He's got that awesome basic attack. Lictor Alpha comes flying in with Siding Talons on the way. Gonna go down in retreat, though. Yep. You know what? These looters are doing some work for Sapiens on this west side. 2 heroes down. Got some good kills. The blue team Tyranid roster's looking quite fat, though, still. Tier 3 for Gatts. East side is still blue, although shooter boys are trying to cap. Here comes the Kommando with an Orky shotgun. It's a special shooter. Going for explosive shells on that group. Look at that. That's an Orky shotgun, alright. Sluggers now on the cap. The shooter boys wiped, I think, while capping there. Or was it these guys that backed off? I think they might have wiped while capping, while Wolfguard was watching their Kommando. 399 to 266, 1-to-1 cap. More shooters to try and cap now. Ravener Brood pouring damage in, though, alongside the Termagants, and there's the Barb Strangler shot. Ouch. Wasn't worth trying to get that. Should have moved the looters up first and then put these shooters in for the cap. West side, still the downed heroes. There's that Warp Vomit. And in retreat, I guess. Tier 3s. Carnifex on the way for Gatts. Death Dread for Space Tendies. Wolfguard can get double beamy looters up pretty quickly, maybe, to combat that Carnifex coming on the east side. Wonder what they go for. Maybe a Thorn back to just charge through and mess up the sluggers, although Strangled Thorn. Always so tempting when you're up against a big infantry army. Some revives on the west side. Raven Alpha getting it done. Are they going to level off this one? They do. Barely, I think, but they did level off it. And now bashing power here is the Tenso's army. Getting some decaps as well. Genestealers haven't been able to get stuck in too much yet, I don't think. Doubling the west side now. And there's the zap from the Weird Boy. Will jump around to various targets, doing damage each time it jumps. Need to try and separate the stuff. Lots of Daka. Death Dread now in amongst some Hormagaunts. There's the electric armor into a Warp Vomit, and a Weird Boy shot one in there as well. Ouch, that was nasty. Wiped something there. I think it was just Termagants. Maybe? Not sure what it was. Maybe nothing wiped in the end, because UncensoredAngel still has 3 Termagants running. Yeah, I think they barely got away. That was close. East side is red, but we have a Strangled Thorn Cannon Carnifex here. Ravener Alpha getting into melee. No war gear for this fella yet. Typically you'll see the Synapse aura for damage in a 3v3 team game. Trophy rack is up for the Warboss. And the Orks get on this power and do a quick bash with a Death Dread. Burners and bits. Lictor Alpha's here to have a word with them. 81 power melee Scything Talons being suppressed though. Death Dread is in there taking shots from a Neurothrope, which won't do a huge amount to a Death Dread, but it has taken damage. 372 to 238. Infestation Capillary Tower going in. Some friendly fire from the Weird Boy. These guys need to run, and there they are running. Lictor Alpha jumps away for the retreat. There we go. Death Dread being a menace. Here come the Genestealer Brood, and they have the heavy melee rending talons. There's a paroxysm as well. They might be able to get down this Death Dread here. It has melee resistance, but these guys do so much DPS. Like 35 DPS per model. It's a lot. 2-1. Looks like it's kicking off towards the mid a bit. Oh, rocks. And they get the Carnifex. Nice indeed. Beamy Looters for Wolfguard. 2 of them, in fact. And now they're taking the east side back. Whose rocks was that? Maybe Sapiens from the look of the red. They have a Nob Squad and a Pain Boy. And they're getting their cyborg implant equipment to do some surgery here. Nob leader on the way for the Nob Squad. Where's that surgery? Let me see that surgery. Probably +1 speed. It's typically what people would get. But health and damage is great too. 369 to 205 on the power is Wolfguard. Got some commandos with a rocket launcher and that fast capping and the awesome disruption. Look at that. How many times can you shoot before you have to do a reloady thing? Looks like it's got a burst of 4 and then does his reload animation. Not bad. Oh, Ravener Alpha's got a Corrosive Devourer now. Love the back up into a Slugger charge into Stick Bombs. Beautifully done by Wolfguard. Almost wiped those Warrior Brood. Oh, this was without number dropped in by Gatts, I think. Gatts had a rough time in that nuke, of course. Hormagaunts do get away. Do the Termagants get away? They do. Commandos took a lot of damage, but they did a hell of a lot of damage as well. The Termagants don't actually get away. Back to the mid. Weird Boy doing his thing. There's Paroxysm on the Garrison. Does percentage-based damage over time, especially painful for heavy and super heavy infantry, which is what a Nob Squad is. Heavy infantry. Warboss level 3, now with heavy armor. 320 to 205. Probably they want to get the Power Claw. Yet Power Claw on the way. Again, I said this in the last Orc faction war. Where is the Bang Bang Hammer here? Got a Nob Squad getting stuck in right there. There's a lot of green crap on the ground. From the Neurothroat mainly. Zap in there. Warboss is level 3. Should be able to cleave through the Termagants pretty quickly with the Claw though. But you know the Bang Bang Hammer would also do it pretty quickly against those guys. East side. Beamy Looters, not helpful against Tyranid infantry. Would you have anything else, Mr. Ravener Alpha? Nope. We have a fully kitted out Alfonso though. Warp Field is up now. And a super tough beam for the mech to support the Nob Squad. Warboss, as we've seen, fully kitted out. Just took out a Zone Thrope there. UncensoredAngel's Zone Thrope. Who's still tier 2. And they have a Venom Cannon Carnifex here for the Tenso. Full rosters for UncensoredAngel and the Tenso. Ard Boys and use your choppers on the Warboss though. Going after this non-melee resistance Carnifex, doing huge amounts of damage. I think it's going to be able to get away. Needs probably 2 or 3 or maybe 4 hits and they're not going to get it. Got flesh hooked actually. East side is blue. Kommando needs to flee. Lots of Daka here though. We've seen what the Commandos can do with a little bit of micro on their abilities. Nob Squad from Sapiens to help out. Pain Boy is still hanging out in the back of base apparently. Which is weird. Is he stuck? There's that Nob Squad. Do they have the +1 speed? It's so hard for me to tell. They have such an ambling run animation. They might have the 10% health actually. Because they're still level 1. That is a weird value. Is it 10%? It might not be 10%. Maybe it's more. Now. Kill the mid power. If you can't keep it, says Gatts. Good advice. But it's Nob Squad versus Hive Tyrant, who couldn't knock them over because of the super tough beam. And they've got crushing claws now. Chrono formation. Decent hit. But it's really something you need to push alongside because it gives you huge buffs. Using it just for damage isn't ideal. Unless you're trying to take out a building or something because it will one-shot them. Nob Squad doing their Nob Squad thing. Need ways to control them. There's Paroxysm, which does slow you down slightly, I believe. And look at that. Spirit Leech on the Weird Boy to drain his energy a bit and give it back to the Neurothroat. Neurothroat doesn't naturally regenerate energy, as you can see. Need to use some of his abilities to get it back. Uh-oh. The damage the Nob Squad did there. One attack each. Almost took out the Neurothroat. Good jump from the Lictor Alpha. Got Menacing Visage now to make them retreat as well. Although, I don't think they have the energy to use it right now. There's Frenzy. And there's a looted tank. Lictor Alpha gets the decap. Disrupts the Nob Squad. Now suppresses them and then runs away. Genes to the Brood in there, but they're quite low. Yeah, they're too... Oh, they wipe. There's too much Daka and tank shots coming in there. Otherwise, they can do pretty well against the Nob Squad, although it really helps them to have the melee synapse for the plus 10 melee skill. Swarm Lord up for Gatts into some more Hormagaunts. More Carnifex for the Tenso. 267139. Have you moved yet? No. Pain Boy's still just hanging out there. Strange. Is he just being used to heal stuff in base faster or something? With his Git source, he should really be out there supporting the Nob Squad. Doesn't seem like anyone... I don't think anyone has mentioned it yet. It's hard for me to keep track of the chat though. Hard for me to keep track of the game. What's on the screen in front of me? Warboss level 4. Trying to get in on the Carnifex. Being suppressed by the Barb Strangler. Has a good Warp Vomit though to shut them down. They have their Thorax Swarm as well. Flesh Hook. Stomp. And they go straight back after the Carnifex again. Almost 2,000 hit points on this guy with that heavy armor now. 235 to 139. Looted tank took a lot of damage. Warboss is eventually having to go back to HQ. Still level 1. Alfonso the Hive Tyrant. Poor bastard. Are they going to steal the power? It looks like they're just bashing it now. The east side is very red. Wolfguard has triple commandos, and we've seen what multiple commandos can do in his team games. It can be super effective. Where's the rest of the Warrior Brood? Oh, they're strangely split up there. They're going to be alright. There's a Paroxysm. Commandos might need to move, fellas. But they're moving back to base. The other two are going up the east side, where a Swarm Lord is fighting Sluggers alongside Hormagaunts. Not a good fight for those fellas. They get away. Still bashing that central power. Tapping up the west side are the Nids. They could get onto the power here too. Carnifex is very far forward. One is getting thorn back for the Tenso. Alfonso level 2 now. Fighting a Nob Squad. And doing a decent job. Got a good special there. Warboss trying to get after the Carnifexes. But is being Spirit Leeched. Are they going to die? Oh, they still got tons of hit points. That Trophorak as well, of course. Still trying to chase the Carnifex, I believe, or try to get after the Neurothroat, maybe. Neurothroat's been good so far. Yeah, he's going after the Carnifex. Tanking so much stuff, but can't quite get it done. The two Weird Boys flee. Another Paroxysm. Cataclysm into Paroxysm, I think. Look at that. Get some good work. Double cap for the Nids. Nob Squad popping their Frenzy. I think they'll get this, but is it going to be enough? Because the Nids are swarming the east side as well. Not sure what happened to the Commandos over here. Oh, here they are. Here's one of them. Other fellas coming out of base. They must have been sent packing by the Swarm Lord, maybe. Down to 45 VPs. And the Tyranids are back on their natural too. Here's a Tyrant Guard. End of the game for UncensoredAngel. Might have got it from their global bar maybe. That Pain Boy's still back here. Yeah, that is weird. I don't know if they completely forgot about them or they just got bugged out strangely. Not sure if it would have made a difference in the game. Would have made some difference. Would have kept the knobs in play a bit longer. Maybe it would have been enough to make a difference on the VPs, but triple cap at the end here for the Nids. Rocks at the end, but the Nids have it. There it is. GG indeed. The Tenso level 5. Very solid on the west side with the Lictor Alpha. Got the Carnifexes rolling and did some good work with them. UncensoredAngel. Not experienced with Tyranids apparently, but they did well. Preserved their stuff. Still had the triple Termagants going. Carnifex on the way at the end, and a level 2 Hive Tyrant. Level 4 Ravener Alpha for Gatts on the east side. Got hit pretty hard with that nuke, but recovered. Swarm Lord into a Carnifex at the end. Level 7 Kommando. Had a lot of fun with the shotgun and the stick bombs. Sapiens mech. With that strange opening. With the sluggers that wiped. I'm not sure if that was an intentional wipe. Into the double looters. The double looters did some work though. And Space Tendies with a Warboss level 4. With that trophy rack and huge amounts of hit points. I think they were also maybe relatively new to Orks maybe. Perhaps. But there it is. Thank you guys for watching. Big thanks to these players for taking part in a faction war. The Tenso running some lobbies these days. I'll see you next time guys.